Chapter 47, Part 2, Branwell.
During our recon that turned into your rescue mission, explained Bentley, I got Murray to place a tracking device on his car. Once we got you, we found his car was on the move, but it ended up short-circuiting. We looked into how that could be, says Sly, and the email we got downloaded from Roger's computer helped us. Apparently, he styled his car with an electromagnetic pulse generator that targets abnormalities in his car. It's tech that costs hundreds of thousands of pounds. It seems to have been made specifically for if he had to make a big getaway. Thanks to that, says Bentley, we have no idea where he went. I've a faint idea who supplied him with that tech, and she's not easy to track down either. On the plus side, says McSweeney, his conviction could put you in a decent light, especially when they dug deeper and found this. He holds up a photograph in a darkened room with the obvious camera flash of a bunch of my blood samples. Jars of them. Some of them even have my name in permanent marker. He then looks at me with deep concern. What happened? Is this really your blood? I give a hefty sigh. Yeah, they must have left it all there with no time to pick it up when the police raided. To tell you the truth, I had no idea why Roger didn't just kill me when I became his prisoner. Then he started draining my blood with needles. I got a fair few of those needles a day. My arms haven't been in this much pain in my life. So he was keeping you beating and breathing to extract your blood? Says Dimitri. Why? I don't know. And you know something else I don't know? I overheard his guards talking about the plan to drown me. You know, the one you saved me from. Did Ambera or Clifton know about any of this? Asked Carmelita. I'm not sure, I say honestly. That complicates things. The two of them were taken into questioning. They're both currently being held in jail, and both are sobbing the life out of themselves, pleading their innocence. If I have to be totally honest, I've looked into Clifton, and he seems like a calm guy. He barely posts on his social media accounts, and nothing he has uploaded shows devotion of any kind to a bad cause. Ambera, I point out, has been vocally supportive of Roger. I'm not surprised there, since they're husband and wife, and I would honestly be surprised if their son was not supportive of them at least a little. He's their son, but I can't say for sure whether the two of them were involved in all this. Well, maybe that's not the important thing right now, says Sly. Remember how a few months ago before you, there was a different prison escape? Oh, absolutely. It inspired so much hope among the other prisoners of also getting out. I overheard many openly talking about the places they would rob. It was kind of unsettling. Do you know anything about it? A mouse named Penelope was seen escaping, and an accomplice, a frog named Raleigh, escaped too. But this information was not known for over 2 months. Penelope had an accomplice in jail, and no one was the wiser? I feel my desire to write a story spinning like a top. Well, the three of you escaped over the past few months. We were wondering, do you know anything about a blimp, or where they could have gone? I gulp, realizing this information may have been a big factor in pulling me. Well, not really. My cell was not near hers when she escaped. Somehow the guards who were tasked with keeping count of the prisoners messed up a few hundred times, says Carmelita, but I call cow flop. Last I heard, the guards had to lawyer up. They're getting ready to be sued. Now that I think about it, there might actually be something else. You know, after I got sent to that basement, they began starving me. The only food I got tasted bad and had some sort of sedative that kept me really wonky. But something that's kind of off is why they still wanted me alive. I mean, they could have drowned me in the water in the garage or just shot me, but they went through the trouble of not just feeding me, but then waiting for a day when no one was boating in the water, and then using their technology to temporarily take out all of the cameras and tech in the area. That's why my RC car was acting a little off during the recon, brings up Bentley. The pulse fortunately couldn't get past my brain and backup power. And for the cherry on top, they wanted to film it. That's what we suspect this video camera was for, says Carmelita, holding up a video camera I kind of recognize. Okay, I've met some twisted men in my day, says Sly, but I've never heard of anything as terrible as drowning someone and making a personal record of it. Well, I also overheard them saying how useful the film would be, and that struck me as odd. Sadistically pleasurable, maybe, but useful? I guess for now, until we can put some pieces together, we're gonna have to go with Plan B if we want to catch that blimp and find out the mystery of those rocks, says Bentley. And what Plan B is that, brain funk, says Dimitri. I'm still analyzing the data I scanned from Raleigh's blimp back in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt? I butt in? Rocks? What are you all talking about? Long story, says Sly. We'll fill you in later. You were saying, Bentley? Well, I sadly haven't been able to gather much. A lot of info is encrypted, but I found out that I could hack into the blimp and access a lot of the info we need, like its time travel history and coordinates. I would just need to sneak into the same connection network. How easy is that to do? Asked McSweeney. Bentley gives a huge sigh. With millions of networks out there, even if I was able to scan through the networks of entire countries or continents, it would take too long to gather all the data. And whatever this time machine is, it won't display unless I do additional hacking of these specific networks they're anonymously on. Unless we can get another clue, we're lost. So we're not really any closer to finding Penelope or Raleigh than when we started? Says Dimitri solemnly. I wouldn't put it that way, says McSweeney. We did a good deed. We saved Branwell and we uncovered a hostage. I lightly smile, and this gets Sly's attention. So, Branwell, right now we're in my van, and we've been held up here for the last day, out behind an abandoned farm. But we're staying here for a bit, to let things cool off, because your escape and being taken hostage, plus Roger Silvio going on the run, everyone's talking about all of that right now. We can give you two options. We can bring you over to your parents, or you can stay with us. McSweeney insisted on giving you the options. I'm kind of speechless, and I think quick. Everyone's looking at me, waiting for a choice. I think I've had more than enough trouble. I've been in prison and narrowly escaped death, and I really want to be with my mom and dad. But I get the sense that this gang is mixed up in something bigger than the feud between me and the Silvio family. Time travel and strange rocks, holding me hostage and gathering my blood. If I'm ever going to be properly exonerated, I need to know every detail, and I need to stick with the one officer who seems to be giving me a chance to explain. I did admittedly commit arson. My reputation with the law is either treading on thin ice or has fallen through and drowned. And yet I feel safe, with McSweeney looking over me. Count me in. I promise to do my part. Okay then, says Sly. Welcome. I'm now truly a fugitive of the law, and I am a member of the legendary Cooper gang, alongside my old cellmate. Truth is certainly stranger than any fiction story could dare to be.